Hey guys, this is Caspi with Tape, and today you join me for a Fall of Kerbin extra video, and we're looking at the tanks I will be using in late World War II. Although that has already started, but the reason I'm doing this is partly to look at the tanks, and also because Penguin's going to finish his turn just before I go away for 5 days. So I thought I'd give you this video while you wait, and so that we can take a nice look at the tanks, and the new tank system, because there is a new tank system. We have totally changed how the armor works. I had very little to do with this, so I'm not sure of the specifics about why it happened. I think it's to do with changes in BD Armory, and also Penguin made a bunch of tweaks. And basically now it's not just structural panels stacked on top of each other to kind of represent thickness. They're different types of armor. So you have light armor panels, medium armor panels, heavy armor panels, and super heavy armor panels. And depending on the thickness, rounds just won't be able to penetrate. So if you have like a 50 caliber machine gun, it's never going to go through super heavy armor, which is far more realistic, and we'll look at that a little bit more later. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention, there's also a new system for kind of deploying tanks. We no longer just deploy light tanks and heavy tanks and medium tanks. We actually have a point system now. So each turn you get 22 points, and from that you get you kind of pick out your tank parts. So for instance, this light tank has a light hull, which costs 1 point, and a 37mm gun, which I believe costs 2 points. So this tank costs 3 points, but a heavy tank would cost more. But it means you can launch a very specific amount of things and design tanks to be slightly cheaper or heavier, and it's just a more nuanced system. And I'll link the download for the rules and things in the description so that you can just get a better feel for it. You can read through it and find the bit that tells you about tanks, and it makes a lot more sense. But anyway, we're looking at my light tank. This is based very, very loosely off the M3 Stuart. It doesn't really look much like it, but this is the M3 Stuart gun, and there's sort of vagaries that look a little bit like it. And yeah, it has a light hull, of course, which is pretty weak armor. It'll usually stop a 50 cal, but you know, nothing bigger, and sometimes 50 cals can get through it. It has the 37mm M3 Stuart gun, and annoyingly, this will be the M4, because my previous light tank was the M3 Minotaur, so this will be the M4, which is annoying, because if it was the M3, that would be so much better. And yeah, you can get a look at it. It finally has treads, and it just, yeah, this is all just how it looks. There's not much to talk about with this tank because it just has one gun. You can see that this is a wing piece here to kind of fill in the gaps more fill in the gaps kind of more precisely, but there is armor behind it. Anyway, let's move on to the medium tank. Now, this is using a Sherman Firefly turret, and it is loosely based off the Sherman. I do want to tweak this a lot because it doesn't really look like the Sherman. I mean, vaguely, you can kind of see it, but the kind of slope at the back isn't long enough. And the front kind of does curve around, but it's very hard to make the Sherman shape. And I'm not like an amazing tank designer, so I'm going to try and do a little better than this. But yeah, this is based roughly off the Sherman, because, you know, it's cool, and it has this Sherman Firefly turret, which was an upgrade to the original Sherman tank. So this is a high-velocity 76mm gun, because the old Sherman turret, the smaller one, couldn't pierce kind of Tiger tanks and things like that, I believe. I'm not a tank expert, but I am. There also will be a. There will also be a. We're also getting the older turret made as well, this low-velocity 76mm, just in case I need a slightly cheaper tank and kind of feel like a lower velocity 76mm would do the job. Oh, and by the way, all of these guns are being made by this guy Lance. I'm not sure what your online alias is, but basically this guy Lance has just put together just a shit ton of guns. All of the ones you see here, yeah, all of them. And more, and just done them really quickly and really amazingly. So thank you so much to him, because it's made us, just given us so many more options, and they look so good. And the snow camo, oh, that's so beautiful, because of course winter has fallen. Anyway, let's get back to looking at the tank. This video is a bit all over the place, I'm sorry, it's just a fun little thing. Anyway, so this is using a medium hull, which means it has medium armor in the front and light armor in the sides. But medium hulls and bigger come with a free 30 caliber machine gun, which is nice. So we have our little 30 cal here, just in case we need to shoot anything like planes, I guess is what a 30 cal would be useful for, and pretty much nothing else. Maybe getting through very weak points in tanks. Maybe sweeping up emplacements. And we also have a 50 cal as well for a little bit of kind of sort of AA defense, and I guess maybe trying to sweep up light tanks and planes and things. Some of them won't have this on because to get to 22 points, I think you'd launch 2 of these with and 2 of them without, which would be good. So yeah, this is medium tank. It will be the C3 something, and I guess that's about it. I got kind of distracted talking about the guy who made the guns, but yeah, pretty awesome. So the next tank you've actually already seen, kind of. This is the TD2 Cyclops. It does have a name because it's already been deployed, and this is my tank destroyer. Now, I got everything wrong last time in the actual episode. I said it was a Panzerjäger. It's not. It's a... fuck. Oh, shit. It's a... I'm gonna look at the comments. I've totally forgotten what it's called. It's a... So, I'm just looking through the comments. It's a Jagdtiger. I think that's how it's pronounced. Panzerjäger is just, I think, tank hunter, which is a general term, or this Czech tank or something like that. So yeah, which is a shame, because I way prefer the word Panzerjäger than... Fuck, I've forgotten again. What's it called? Than Jagdtiger, of course, yes. Anyway, let's talk about my version of this. Now, I said that it was on a medium... Oh, no, I said I deployed 4 last time, and that turned out to not be true, because I thought this was a 105mm gun, but it's actually a 128mm gun, which meant 2 things. Firstly, it was a point more expensive than I thought it was, which meant I couldn't have those 20mm guns, and it also meant it could only be mounted on a heavy hull, which meant I could only deploy 2 of these and a medium tank. So, when we go back into Fall of Kerbin, you'll see that I actually only have 2 of these in a medium tank, because these are freaking massive. This is a 128mm gun. It is ridiculously accurate, it's very long range, and it will destroy anything. It can cut through anything. It can get straight through super heavy armor. At range, it is just a beast. And I'm actually perfectly happy with it being on a heavy hull as well, because that means you can't get through this unless you have a high velocity gun, so one of these. So light tanks, Penguin's cruiser tanks, won't be getting through this, which gives it a lot of support when it's being, when we have smaller tanks getting close to it. On the side, obviously, it doesn't have that. It has medium armor, which can be gotten through by anything, I think, bigger than the 37mm. So yeah, it's not as cheap as I thought it was, and I might develop a cheaper tank destroyer to go with it, but this will be very useful. It has only its main gun because it is quite expensive. I believe this is 4 points and a heavy hull is 3 points, or maybe more. Yeah, so this is 4 points and this is maybe also 4. Yeah, okay, it's 8 points per tank, which means it's 16 points to launch too. And yeah, so that's the tank destroyer and a little bit of a footnote to the previous episode. Anyway, let's move on to the heavy tank. This is my heavy tank. It is based loosely off the King Tiger. It is using the King Tiger turret, which is a high-velocity 88mm gun, which is truly pretty deadly. You saw what the Tiger 1's turrets could do when Penguin built his Tiger, which was a normal Tiger, and yeah, they were pretty deadly. Those were low-velocity 88s, and this is a high-velocity 88. It is ridiculously powerful. And yes, this is also, of course, on a heavy hull because it is a heavy tank. Oh shit, I actually could have a free 30 cal on there. I forgot because it's on bigger than a medium thing. It could have a 30 cal on it, so yeah, the footnote to that tank. But yes, so this is based loosely off the King Tiger, and I think it's a reasonably good rendition. I think it looks nice, at least. It looks much nicer than the my medium tank of last turn. Why is that? How is that over there now? It doesn't matter. This video is so all over the place, I do apologize. Yeah, I think it looks much nicer than things like my C2 Centaurs, and yeah, it's got a big tank. It is, of course, armed with its 88. It's got a 50 cal right here for shooting down things in front of it, or things in the air close to it, and it also has a little 30mm mounted in the front for sweeping up, well, kind of a last resort type thing. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. I quite like how this tank looks, actually. I don't know, it's got some nice contours and things. But anyway, let's move on to something I'll probably never deploy, but was a fun experiment. This is a super heavy tank. I'm actually not even sure if it is within the rules. Basically, I was like, how can I use all of the points? And this is how you use all of the points. So it has a lot of turrets. Now, there's nothing explicit in the rules that say I can't have more than 2 turrets on a super heavy tank. It just says about points. So this is what I can build if I've read those rules right. So obviously it has a super heavy hull. This armor is, I think, even resistant to maybe that gun, the Tiger II. And yeah, and on the side it has heavy armor which can only be pierced by things like the Tiger II and the Sherman Firefly. And you'll have noticed it has a few guns. It has a Sherman Firefly turret, which I think I'd probably swap out for the Tiger just so it looks more kind of... So, because this is quite round and this is quite angular, I think it would look more coherent if I used that turret on there. And on top, it has the 128mm Panzerjäger Tiger cannon. It says Panzerjäger Tiger. I'm calling it a Panzerjäger Tiger. No, but yes, it has a 128mm gun on the front from my tank destroyer. And yes, on the sides, it has these little cutouts in the top bit of the hull for a bunch of 20mm, little 20mm turrets, which come from the M3 Minotaur. Or the Panzer in real life. So anything that gets to its side, obviously there's not much to shoot it with because this can only turn so far because that's in the way and this can't turn very far at all. So this will be able to sweep up anything trying to flank it like light tanks, or if you get lucky shots, maybe even cruiser tanks. And yes, obviously the 76mm high velocity Firefly on the front for kind of things that would be at a wider angle, and it has a bunch of AA defense. It has two 37mm guns. Now I'll probably never use this, but I just like the idea of it. It has to have two treads. Inside it is gigantic, and annoyingly it's not actually functional right now. It will move around and shoot and things, but its armor is poorly... No, its things inside it are placed poorly, so they'll explode even when armor isn't penetrated. So yeah, that's not ideal. But yeah, I still think it's kind of a cool tank, but it's also a massive target. It would be impossible to miss this, and bombs would rip it apart even with the 37mm tanks. Just for reference, these single 37mm tanks were what we used on our heavy tanks in the World War I era of this. So yeah, just in its AA defense it has twice the power of two heavy tanks. And is far stronger. Anyway, let's take a look at how this new armor system works. I can't really demonstrate it with this very well, because things inside it will explode. But basically, so let's take this light tank. Now, this is using a 37mm gun, which is actually pretty weak. I don't think it can even get through medium armor, which begs the question, why am I using it? I guess because it can punch through the side of medium tanks, can punch through light tanks, and probably the side of cruiser tanks, and because the 37mm is much bigger than the 20mm, it will do more damage when it gets through. But you can see, say I came up to one of these King Tigers and shot at it, it just bounces off. It actually didn't do a very good bounce, but if you get it right, you can see it actually bouncing off. And oh yeah, it's not really doing the kind of bouncing animation, but yeah, you can see that it's not getting through, and it just isn't doing any damage. Now, occasionally a few things inside will explode, but in the past, this probably would have been just punching through panels of armor, but this can pound away basically all day at this, and it probably will... Well, no, it's heavy armor, it'll never get through, which is far more realistic to how real tank combat went down. If you fire armor with like a 22 caliber gun, it's never going to get through. But if I go up to something like a medium tank and shoot it in the side, it will manage to get through. Jesus Christ, that went up. I don't think that tank's very well designed. Seriously, what explode? Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because it went through the armor. I just wasn't expecting it. But yes, you can see it's gone clean through the armor, ripped out a bunch of the internals. I think it's narrowly missed the cockpit. But yeah, that's a far more realistic system. I didn't think... Oh, of course, this is light armor. Okay, sorry, I was wondering why it exploded like that, because a 37mm shouldn't be able to get through medium armor. But on the side of this is light armor, and you can see that has just no way of standing up to a 37mm gun, so it went clean through both sides of the tank. That's actually pretty impressive, and just ripped out anything in its path. There is still the ammo and things in there, but yeah, this can't really move around anymore. It has no fuel. It has a little bit of electric charge left, but that'll run out soon. So yeah, that is how the armor system works, which I think is pretty cool. And if we take... this is going to run out, annoyingly. But I wanted to shoot that super heavy armor with a medium tank. Let's try it with the 88. Now this may destroy some stuff on the inside because I haven't rearranged everything in there, but it might not. Oh no, it did. And in fact, I think that may have even gone through the armor. Let's see. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the 88's pretty powerful. It went clean through the armor, destroyed everything inside, and came out of the back, Wow! Jesus Christ, this is amazing. That was awesome. It's even ripped out a bunch of the top. Wow. Okay, yeah, so an 88 can go through super heavy armor. I hadn't tested it before, but yeah, that's a thing apparently. That went clean through the tank. That's amazing. It is much more realistic because when you fire a really big round at a tank, it goes in and it kind of splits apart and kills everyone. And when you fire a tiny round at a heavy tank, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, this is a far more realistic system. And I think really the main thing this will add to tank combat is we can roll through cities now in big tanks and not have to be afraid of 20mm guns, because you shouldn't have to be afraid of a 20mm in a heavy tank. Like, it's just not going to do anything. Let's take a look at what this tank destroyer will do to... Let's do it on the already ruined tank, just see what happens when it hits heavy armor. Ooh, Jesus, it's scared. It blew up just knowing what's going to happen. Yeah, so let's take a look. Ooh, yeah. That actually wasn't a massively impressive explosion because there was nothing inside. Yeah, it just went clean through. Yeah, well, I mean, it went clean through and everything, but there just wasn't much to explode. Ripped out the side, or was that already ripped out? Oh, I was kind of hoping for a big explosion. I don't know why I thought that would happen. Yeah, let's just shoot some stuff. Let's see if the 50 cal does get through light armor, shall we? We've got a little light tank here, and ooh, I haven't activated the fuel cells in here. Ooh, you're gonna get a look inside my tank. It's classified information. There we go. The fuel cells are going. And I'm going to grab the 50 cal and just light up this tank. Yeah, actually I think this is going... Oh no! It actually is resisting 50 caliber fire. Something did explode inside there because I think it's very dense inside the light tank. So that'll occasionally happen. But yeah, this is resistant to 50 caliber fire, that's nice to know. Let's see if medium armor is resistant to 37mm gun, shall we? So I've managed to flank this tank destroyer now, and then we fire in the side. And it doesn't go through. Good, I was right. It's just because the medium tank, of course, has light armor on the side, so it did go clean through. I haven't been doing a massive amount of testing recently, so I'm pretty blown away by all this stuff as well. Ooh, wow, that just eviscerated it. It went right through the back. Looks like it went straight into the cockpit and made everything explode. Yeah, things have gotten a little more explosive now with like single shots, but that is often how tank battles would actually go down. I wonder if I have a quick save, because I'd love to see what those 20mm do to this tank. Fuck you. Oh, that's already broken, so... Yeah, let's see if I have a quick save. Yeah, this isn't a massively coherent video, I apologize, but I don't know, I'm having fun. Alright, let's just have a play around with this tank. It's... you know, not super useful, and it turns out the 88 can go right through it. Oh, undo the brakes. But yeah, say I've got a light tank on my side, I'll just fire up the dual 20mm, which are these? Yeah. And I'll just light them up. Light them up! Oh, did I not bring the ammo? Let's just turn on infinite ammo. Apparently I haven't armed this properly either. And then we just light him up, and he's actually doing surprisingly well. There we go. I think a round bounced off that tank and hit the guy over here. That's awesome. Can that happen? I don't know. Maybe. Wow, that's actually resistant to 20mm fire. You can see it's really actually bouncing off. Jesus Christ, I reckon that... Yeah, Jesus. Have I put the wrong armor on this? It shouldn't be resistant to 20mm? That seems surprising. Light armor... Yeah, light armor. Light armor. Has gotten through some of the bits, though, and done some damage. And yeah, I think a round bounced off here and hit my medium tank. Or maybe something just exploded near it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually, that's pretty impressive. I didn't think the light armor would stand up to it. But it's fine. We've got a pair of 37mm. Yeah, I guess... This is armed fairly pointlessly with those 20mm because it has 37mm, so why would it bother carrying 20mm? It's called being amazing. Fucking hell! Okay, that's got to be a glitch. Let's fucking clay pigeon shoot this thing. I'm terrible at clay pigeon shooting in real life, actually. So, oh my god, yeah, that's a glitch. What the fuck? Alright, let's, why is this not... This turns like a dog as well. These tracks aren't very good, and it sort of weighs a gajillion pounds. What's this? Oh, this is a 30 cal. Yeah, it's not going to do a lot. Well, that's embarrassing. What the fuck happened there? I guess something inside exploded, or maybe a wing surface? What inside exploded? Let's find out. Oh, a fuel tank. I guess maybe it was too close. Yeah, that'll happen sometimes, because things just sort of get through a bit. I don't know. It's not perfect, and I mean, it's not like... I guess it's somewhat realistic as well. I mean, if you're going to plug away forever, you're probably going to get it through it eventually. And if you put things too close to the outside, they will explode. Anyway, let's just fire off the Panzerjäger Tiger thing at the Tiger and see what happens. Oh, that's nice. That's a good explosion. That looks like it was an armor explosion. Jesus Christ. You can see it's just crumpled in where the round came in. It actually didn't destroy the tank. Wow, this is a great tank. It's hit the fuel as well. It's actually, I think it went through the floor. Yeah, it's come in here, gone straight through the front and right through the floor into the ground. Yeah, let's see what the Sherman Firefly turret does to a heavy tank. Should get through, I hope. Yeah, there we go. Sherman Firefly is pretty good. Yeah, right through. Not as kind of crumply and destructive as the 88, as the 128. Obviously, that's just torn a giant... It's ripped the front off the whole tank, actually. But yeah, this went through. A couple of shots there would get through the rest and probably take out the cockpit. Yeah, I don't know why I'm speculating. Let's just do it. Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty good explosion. I'll just punch it through the side, because it's at the bad angle for me to get through the front. Azana, oh, no, that means I am clicking on the right place then. There we go. Right through the side, and I think it has been killed. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. I wanna see the damage. I like inspecting damage and things. That's why I like robot wars and shit. So it's come clean through here. Actually hasn't, no exit wound. Interestingly. Oh, no, it looks... kind of come through there. Oh, here's the exit wound from the first hit. I couldn't find it, but it's actually gone straight through there when I got the first hit in. That's pretty cool, having exit wounds. I didn't think that had happened. I'm about as in the dark as you are right now. I haven't done enough of this to really know. But yeah, it looks like it's just gone right into the cockpit. Maybe slipped out the back there or something. But yeah, anyway, I've just been messing around. This hasn't been a very good video, really. I just wanted to see him. But yeah, you see my tanks. You've seen how the combat works. Apparently, I've seen how the combat works for the first time. Well, let's punch through medium armor. Let's find out. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you are looking forward to... There's going to be some pretty intense tank combat in... wow, that will not go through super heavy armor. Jesus. I'm gonna fire again. I want to do it again. Yeah, there should be some pretty intense tank combat. I've got a lot of tanks. I think Penguin has quite a lot of tanks as well. And yeah, so there should be quite a lot of tank combat, and I think it's going to be way more awesome like this. Some of the fights might not go on for quite as long like they did on, you know, Hacksaw Ridge, where we were just plugging away at each other for hours. But, you know, I mean, that's more realistic, really. And you can see that flanking a tank will be very, very important, because like this medium tank just can't shoot through that frontal armor. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're looking forward to late World War II tank combat, and yeah, this has been KSP with Tape. I'll see you next time.